Hi class, this is your Professor Joseph. Welcome to Phil 20 AH, Introduction to Ancient Philosophy, Pre-Socratic to Medieval Period. And once again, this is an honors class. So this is a 6-week class in the winter of 2021. And the purpose of this video is just to walk you through as if you were like in class for the first day. You know, I walk you through the syllabus and what I expect of you from the 6-week class. So this video will do two things. It will help you understand what I would expect of you, and it will also it will help you to realize if you want to take this class or not. You'll know what you have to do. So, and I hope that all of you do take the class. I might be biased because I love philosophy. That's why I'm teaching it, and I hope you would come to a love of philosophy if you already haven't. So let's get started. So this is Canvas, and on the home page, so when you log in, you come here automatically, and if not, just hit home. But this first page is your syllabus, the whole thing, scrolling all the way down. That would be your syllabus if you were seeing me in person, okay? So if you scroll all the way down, you can see all of your assignments, when they're due, what days, all of it, and then the important dates, okay? So just to let you know, we'll be going back down there. So the very first thing is this. First week of class, you have to do 2 things before Wednesday, January 6th, or you will get dropped from the class. And I even say that right there, don't get dropped. These 2 things are easy. It's a syllabus quiz and a discussion forum, basically a getting to know you discussion forum. They're both due just before midnight, January 6th on Wednesday. If you do not complete these 2 things, you will be dropped from the class Thursday morning, okay? So that's the first thing you got to do. Super easy. It'll take you maximum half an hour, okay? The syllabus quiz forces you to look through my syllabus and get familiar with it. So with that being said, you can easily find that by clicking modules. Everything I expect of you through the entire semester is right here. So orientation module, week 1, all your assignments, week 2, week 3, all the way down to week 6. Everything is right there. That's how I organize it. Syllabus orientation quiz, welcome activity, getting to know you, boom, right there. So do these 2 things, then and only then start on your homework. And we'll get to that, okay? So once again, that was the modules page. Click back to home. All right. So we're in section or CRN 20294. It's online. Let me walk you through this. So the best form of communication for me is email, jkomrosky@mountsac.edu. Do not Canvas message me. I don't check those. So if you Canvas message me, you didn't listen to this video. Email me. When you email me, I can respond back to you using my iPhone, no matter where I'm at. If you Canvas me, I cannot. I have to log into Canvas and all that kind of stuff, and I don't do that on my phone, okay? So use my email. I'll respond back to you within 24 hours. Please do not use the Canvas once again. All right, so virtual office hours. What that means is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 12 to 1, I'm sitting by my computer. Kind of like I can email you back right away kind of thing. And during those times, I can have Zoom office hour meetings with you. Let's say you're confused or you want more clarity on something, or you're stoked and you want to share something with me. I don't know, whatever it is. If you want to schedule those office hour meetings, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 to 1, let me know. And I'll set up like a 15-minute Zoom meeting with you, and I'll send you a link. Okay? If you can't meet during these hours and you have a different time frame, email me and let me know. If I can do it, I'll let you know. But otherwise, these are my office hours virtually. And it's during these times that I check my emails. If you email me Monday night at 10:30 at night, or Saturday or Sunday, and I don't get back to you, it's because my office hours are these, okay? And I do my best to check my emails every day. So with that being said, this class will have no mandatory Zoom meetings. I do not hold class where you have to log on to Zoom and listen to me talk. I've heard multiple problems with that. One, that Zoom meetings could be hacked. I highly doubt it with the Mount Sac server, but like, other Zoom meetings at other places have been hacked. The other thing is most people don't even show their face and have their videos on, so it's like a blank screen. So there's not a lot of interaction with that, but again, if you want to have a Zoom office hour meeting and you want more interaction with me, just email me and let me know. Otherwise, I try to do a lot of videos for this class. I try to break down most of the assignments. I'd say during the first 7 or 8 chapters, I have videos on everything that I make, and I have YouTube videos. During the rest of the chapter, as I ease off on my own personal videos, and I just link good videos from YouTube that I actually love. So it's sort of like you have training wheels on at the beginning, and then I take them off with my own personal videos. But with that being said, there's no mandatory Zoom meetings, but you'll get plenty of interaction with me on a video. And I have videos for everything. I mean, I have videos on how to do extra credit. I'll show you those in a minute. I have videos on how to write your first paper, how to write your last paper, things like that. If you need help with Canvas, don't ask me. Call these guys and then tell them, for example, right here, see that 94426? That's specifically for this class. You call Canvas, you give them your number, they can literally log into your Canvas account and look at what you're looking at. It's awesome. If you have not used this, use it. I use it all the time. So anyways, here we go. This is a picture. That is Socrates taking hemlock. We'll learn about like why he did that. And this is, I think this is Credo. Some people pronounce it Credo, but Credo. You might want to say that's his bro on his deathbed. And we're going to learn, like, why did Socrates take this death potion? You know, what was he doing? What was behind it? What's the significance? So going back up, we're going to cover pre-Socratic, before Socrates, all the way to the medieval period, and very significant philosophers. Really cool stuff. And keep in mind, with all these readings, you're looking at the main arguments they make. They're making arguments about reality. This isn't a logic class, but let me give you a basic rundown of what an argument is. An argument has premises that have evidence or facts or reasons to believe a conclusion. And the conclusion is supported by these premises, which are evidence, facts, or reasons to believe, okay? And if the conclusion is supported the right way with the premises, you might want to say the conclusion's forced on you, meaning it's more rational to believe the conclusion than it is not to believe it. Each one of these philosophers is offering you arguments about reality. So those are very fascinating things. Whether it's how to live a good life, what metaphysics is, what epistemology is, what ethics is, what logic is, how does this all relate during the time periods they're in, the arguments they're wrestling with, the historical backdrop. But that's the main oomph of this when you're doing your readings is, okay, what are they arguing? And why is it important to me now? Why was it important to them then? And you might say to yourself, this is real ancient stuff, obviously, to the medieval period. Like, who cares? Like, what does it apply? What does it have to do with me now? And I promise you, I think most of you are going to get blown away at how much of this actually still applies to you now. That's why it's, very significant, and you're taking it at a college level. So let's go down. And I'm not saying you should buy all of the arguments, but you should at least know them. Like, what did Socrates argue for in different dialogues? He made multiple arguments. So it's not like these philosophers make one argument. Most of the time they're making many arguments. And your job as a student, especially an honors student, is to find out, okay, what are they arguing? Whether you agree with it or not, can you represent their argument the way they would? That's the skill set that I want you to be able to extract from this class while you're doing your reading. So, overview. What is ancient philosophy? Why is it important? Over the semester. And these are a bunch of questions that will be thrown at you, whether I throw them at you or the text does. So let me go over a few. What is truth, and is it worth? Is pursuing the truth worth it? We live in a time right now where a lot of people think truth is relative. Like, what's true for me is true for me, but maybe not for you. You're going to find out that these ancient philosophers, some of them did not think that at all. They thought truth was absolute, and it applied to you and your mom and your uncle and your cousin and even aliens in outer space all at once. It's absolute. It's binding at all persons at all times, at all, locations. So quite fascinating. So this is an absolute view of truth versus a relative view of truth. You're going to be thrust into these kind of tension points. We're like, which is it, Well, I guess it depends on what proposition we're talking about. Are we talking about, does God exist? Are we talking about, like, what's right and wrong? Are we talking about, is it better to be a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent? I don't know. Like, can we use those philosophical arguments to apply to us now? And is that absolute, or is that more relative? Well, it depends. It depends on what proposition about reality we're discussing. But keep that in mind. Think about that. Like right now, do an intuitive check in your mind. And when I say intuitive or an intuition, I would say it's an intellectual seeming that something's the case. That's what I mean by intuition. It's more of a philosophical intuition. Is it that intellectually seems the case to me at first glance? And then as you go throughout the semester and then to the end, gauge what you thought in the beginning versus what you thought at the end of the course. Sometimes you don't get clear answers, and sometimes, just like me, I've been doing this for 20 years now, sometimes my answers change depending on how much experience I have with these arguments. But okay, so what's the benefit? What benefit is there to asking critical questions about reality? What's the Socratic method? We hear about this all the time, but what is it? We'll find out. According to the Greeks, how can one live the good life? After all, this class should be practical to you. Me personally, Aristotle blows me away with this question. What Aristotle thinks is the good life. Or even just the ancient Greeks in general, like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. They're all in line with the same answer. I'm kind of blown away at what they thought. Because after all, when you're going to college and you're learning about all this stuff, ultimately, what is it for? Is it for you to get better, more money and a better job? Or is it really for you to live a good life? If you have the wrong mindset, maybe you're thinking about education the wrong way. So the way Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle views this question, it's very deep. It's way beyond just your education. It's fascinating. What significance does ancient medieval philosophy have on my life now? How do you know that you know something? Versus how do you know that you believe something? Beliefs and knowledge are different. You might say that a belief is, I believe something, I'm ready to act on it in reality. Like I believe my car's in the parking lot right now. So I act as if it is in the parking lot right now. That's a belief that I hold. Knowledge is deeper. You might say it's components that make up knowledge is justified true belief. So there's three things that you can say could start the makeup of knowledge. Justified, meaning, do I have reason or evidence to believe this? Is it true? Is it literally true? And then, do I believe it? I have to have all three of those things to have an instance of knowledge, whereas belief is different. So it's fascinating. What I just did to you is I gave you a quick lesson in epistemology. That's a branch of philosophy. Epistemology deals with knowledge and skepticism and justification for having beliefs. Very fascinating. But we'll move on. What's the difference between knowledge, belief, and skepticism? What is virtue, and how do you obtain it to make your life better? That's a typo. It should say how to obtain it. What is reality, and does the existence of God play a part in how I see reality? Of course it does, right? Whether you believe in God or not. What am I made of as a human person? Later on during the 6-week course, I might offer extra credit, but I just got published recently, and I engage in the great conversation myself, and I center in on this question about the human person, like what we're made of. And I'll let you interact with that. But last question, we will be pursuing these questions and more through the eyes of ancient medieval philosophers. Okay, so that's the last point. So if you weren't interested you're obviously interested in taking the class because you're registered, but now you should be even more interested because these are some of the things we're going to be wrestling with. These are what I would call the salient features of my class. The things that are golden nuggets, the things that stand out, that are more pronounced. That's what we mean by a salient feature. or these are like the multiple bottom lines of the class. So scrolling down, these are just videos. If you're new to online classes, you can look through them. Otherwise, you don't need to. Required text, this is very important. If you do not get this text, the specific text for my class, you probably won't pass my class. I designed my class to where you cannot Google these answers or go online and cut and paste stuff, because some of the answers can only, or most of the answers can only be found in that book, okay? So that is a warning, a friendly reminder, and an encouragement and persuasion to you to get the book, whether it's PDF or Kindle or hard copy, whatever, it's up to you. And there's multiple ways to do it. You can use the Mount Sac bookstore, you can Google it, but I think you can even rent it at Red Shelf for like 30 or 40 bucks for the semester or something like that. But you can look. It says, do not buy the 7th or any earlier edition, that will not work for this class. Buy the 8th edition. And look at that. I give you a literal picture of the book. Okay? So you got to get that. And if you're viewing this video before the class even starts, you're way ahead. Get the book, start reading chapters 1, 2, or whatever, the introduction, and you're ahead. Okay? Get familiar with the book. Course requirements and grading. Okay, homework. You're going to have weekly quizzes. You're either going to have 1 to 4 quizzes a week, and you'll see how I design this later on. It's based upon how much you have to read that week. Quizzes are worth 25% of your grade. Weekly discussions are worth 10%. Your first paper is worth 10. Your midterm is worth 15. Final paper is worth 20. Final exam, 20% of your grade. So that's a breakdown of your grade. Also, I will drop the 2 lowest quizzes. You're going to have 15 quizzes. Basically, you're doing 15 chapters in 6 weeks. Why? Well, if you had me in an in-person class, we'd be doing all 15 chapters. So that's just crammed into your 6-week class. I don't do any shortcuts. It's the same content. It's just whether it's in 16 weeks or 8 weeks or 6 weeks, and you happen to be in a 6-week class. Okay, so I drop your 2 lowest quizzes. In other words, they do not count against your grade or towards your grade. All grading is automatically done in the Canvas website. And there's 2 grading scales that I use. One is right here. This is if you do extra credit, I land you on this scale. But then I ultimately will grade you on this scale. It's a Mount Sac scale. It's all or nothing, 90 to 100% A, 80 to 89.99 B, similar. So there's no A plus, A minus. It's just a straight up A, B, C, D, or F. Okay, that's the Mount Sac scale. But what I'll do is I'll take your grade on Canvas. It'll land somewhere in here. Then I'll see if you've done extra credit. Then I will apply extra credit to this. It will bump you up on this scale. Then wherever you land, I just put you right in here, and that's your grade. If you want to see more about that, look at this extra credit video. Click it, listen to me. I explain how to do all these extra credit options, okay? So you can only do 1 extra credit option if you choose to do it. And if you do extra credit, I bump you 2 notches on this scale. So in other words, if you got a B, right? If you landed in this area and you do extra credit, I will bump you up 2. So 1, 2, which is an A minus, which is an A. Again, I explain all this in this video. Okay? So I have the movie, the Hipster Challenge, where you watch 2 movies. You complete a form for each movie. This is 2 full pages typed. Don't try to cut corners or I won't accept it. The movies are awesome. They're not free. I just provide you the trailers to them. But if you want to do the extra credit, you have to watch the movies on your own. Okay. Whiplash. Whew, that's a wow. So that's, yeah. So anyways, you got 4 movie options. If you can think of another movie, let me know. But otherwise, these are the 4 movies. Okay. Scholar Challenge. You have to get this book on your own. Read the whole thing. 189 pages. Fill out this form. The form basically says, you're swearing to me that you read the whole book, and you tell me your favorite chapter, what it was, and why. A few sentences, done. Each challenge is different the way I do this. So The Scholar Challenge is more reading. The Hipster Challenge is more movie watching, a little bit of engaging with critical questions. The Social Challenge is you pick a debate or a conference to go to, fill out a form, but that has to be approved through me. So if you pick one of these extra credit options, I'll give you full extra credit, and that's the only extra credit I offer. So again, look at the video if you're interested in that. Moving on down, student learning outcomes. These are the objectives that we measure when you take a class for any class at Mount SAC, and you can look at these. Basically, it's telling you, look, student learning outcome, after you're done with my class, you'll be able to tell me more about, the major philosophers from ancient to medieval. You'll be able to analyze philosophical systems, presented in these chapters. You'll be able to synthesize philosophical perspectives in relationship to your own lived experience, meaning, does the philosophical argument I learned in this chapter apply to my life? Things like that. You'll be able to write essays which will reveal improved skill in your presentation and evaluation of arguments. So those are the 4 learning outcomes. Add drop deadlines. You can look at this. I think you can also view it here. You can click that. But these are the main dates. And it's your responsibility to take those seriously, so you will have to look at those. Again, the big deal for me is this one, January 6th, Wednesday. If you do not complete those 2 things, your syllabus quiz and getting to know you, I will drop you. That just means you are non-attending my class, or you've registered for it, but you're not doing anything in here. Okay, so you can look at that. Late work, I do not accept late work. In other words, I only accept assignments early, but not late. If you think you're going to have a problem with my schedule, you better email me way in advance, okay? Announcements. I do weekly announcements. It's your job to check those in the Canvas. Usually they'll be shown to you like right when you log in. You'll have an announcement right at the top. That is how I communicate to the whole class at once, through announcements, okay? Online class attendance policy. On this one, as long as you pass my first week, as long as you do those first 2 assignments and you're in, from that point on, if you fail out of my class, that's up to you. The way I view this class, especially since we're an honors class, I'm not going to remind you week to week, hey, I think you might be failing, hey, I think you need to drop, or hey, I don't do that. It's completely your choice. You are a responsible adult at this point. If you want to fail out, that's up to you. So this thing about 4 consecutive weeks, just disregard that. My thing on the online class attendance policy is, if you complete the syllabus quiz and the getting to know you, you're in my class. You want to drop, you drop. That's on you, okay? If you have any questions, email me, okay? I'll break it down to you. Cheating and plagiarism. Every once in a while I get people that try to plagiarize, and that means you turn in work that is not your own. And if you do not quote and cite another work, whether it's online or whatever, you're plagiarizing. I have caught students turning in other student papers. Don't do it. It's an automatic fail. It's embarrassing. I have software at Mount SAC that can tell me exactly where you got every single quote or anything you've done in your paper, whether you've quoted or not. It will tell me exactly where it came from, what internet site. It does it all for me. I don't do anything. I just look at it and it tells me what percentage that you've plagiarized. The software is amazing. Therefore, do not cheat. I will know, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I cover a lot of this stuff in my first video on your first paper and your final paper, because I force you to quote, and you'll see that in your weekly discussions as well. The reason I do that is it keeps you honest. It sharpens the caliber that you have as a student. To use other people's ideas, quote them, engage with them, and it's good. It's academic rigor. I mean, I want to know what your thoughts are too, but don't try to give me, a cut and paste from an internet site from somebody else on a blog and then say it's your own. I mean, I'll know. So, anyways, don't plagiarize. That's the bottom line. Classroom behavior. We're not in class. I don't know, whatever you want to do online, that's up to your business. So in a Zoom meeting, I would just say, when you log on to me, you can have your camera on or off. It doesn't matter. And then I'll help you in a Zoom meeting, but that's pretty much it online. I'd say when you email me, say hi, Joseph, or hi, Professor Komrosky. Don't just email me and say, hey, can you do this for me? It's looked at as rude. And if you don't know this already, a nice intro line to your professor goes a long way, especially when you want help. Remember, professors on college campuses, whether it's Mount Sac or UC Davis or UCLA, or whatever college you're at, these professors are not your buddies that you hang out with. They're professionals just like you, so you want to set a good professional dialogue when you're asking for things in an email. For example, hi Joseph, I'm struggling with this. Can you please help me? Blah, blah, blah. Instead of, hey, can you change my grade? And there's like no introduction or anything. Just saying it comes off as rude. So be more professional, okay? And that's the only thing I'd say as far as classroom behavior, maybe when you're emailing. If you have a disability, let me know. I work with you. I happen to be a disabled veteran. The Writing Center. Okay, so if English is a second language for you and you struggle with writing, hey, these people are your friend. They would love to help you. They would do it for free. Here's the site for them. Or you can call them. You can send them your paper, set up a Zoom meeting. They're amazing. So here's what I do. If English is a second language for you and you struggle with your grammar, if you prove to me that you've been to the Writing Center with the document and you submit that with your first paper or your final paper or both, I will not grade you on grammar whatsoever. I won't even look at your grammar because I know the Writing Center has helped you with it. So if you can prove that to me, your grammar's good, okay? The Writing Center people are awesome. Some of them actually have you read your paper out loud. You might be like, what? Yeah. So if you read your paper out loud, I promise you, you will find grammatical errors. I do this. Myself, when I read my own paper out loud, I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize I had that word twice in a row. Like, I'm going to let's just give a funny example. I'm going to the apartment. You don't see that when you read it, but when you hear it and you speak it out loud, you can hear the twice in a row, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing, right? Some of the Writing Center tutors do that on purpose. They have you read out your paper so you can spot your own grammar errors. I use these people with all my work. Just to give you a little background on me, I'm a PhD student. I'm about to defend my dissertation and be done with my PhD in the next month in January. I've been at that for 7 years. So I use the Writing Center. I have to. When I got published recently, my edits went through a few professors, one of my buddy who's really good with grammar, and then it went through peer reviewers for the journal I applied to. It just went through layers and layers of edits. But that's not where you're at in this class. I'm just telling you that's what I've done when I've used the Writing Center at my level. I go to Claremont Graduate University in Claremont, right down the hill from Mount Sac, not too far away. And they've helped me. So that's your free resource. And now here we are to the course calendar. So you'll see week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each week I'm telling you, the week is like, hey, it's the 4th through the 10th. And this 59 pages, I'm telling you, during that whole week, you will read 59 pages out of the book. What I do is I take all 15 chapters, divide them by 6, and I try to find a decent pattern of pages you'll read per week. So, for example, you're not going to read 150 pages one week and then 20 the next week. I try to get them around the same. But I think there's 1 week where the reading's 46 pages, pretty low, because that week you're writing your first paper, okay? Whereas the week afterwards, you got 72 pages, but you don't have to write a paper, okay? So you can look at that. So here's week 1, first day introduction module. You have to complete the quiz, the discussion board. They're both due on Wednesday. Then you start your reading. And I tell you, a note to students. There's the Roman numerals in your book, 5 pages. Then chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. You have a quiz for each chapter. I'm telling you exactly how many pages there are. Boom. All your quizzes are due Thursday. I open them up on Monday from each week, so you can do all your quizzes in the first day if you want. Or you can wait till Thursday. You pace yourself, okay? That's on you. They're all due on Thursday. The great conversations, they'll all be due on Sunday. I open them up on Monday. You do not have to do any weekend work in this class. That's up to you. So, for example, you could turn them all in on Friday. But I let them be due on Sunday. I gave you all 7 days to work, okay? So, usually on these weeks, all your assignments are open for each week right there on Monday. So, for example, week 2, all your quizzes are open. You can take whenever you want. And your great conversation is open right on Monday, but it's due on Sunday, okay? So it's pretty easy. Each great conversation, why do I do this? Well, go back to the book up here, and the title is The Great Conversation. What is that? Well, it's a great conversation from pre-Socratic philosophers all the way up till now, because the book says it's actually 30 chapters. You're just looking at 15 of those chapters. And the great conversation is the great conversation about reality, about who we are as human persons, about God, about all kinds of things, right? And you're seeing different philosophers contribute to the great conversation. They're making their own arguments, right? Well, you are going to contribute as well. So the bottom line for me in this class isn't for you just to read about what other people say. I want to know what you think. You're going to be contributing to the great conversation. How are you going to do it? Well, you're going to start by every week getting in the habit. I'll ask you a few questions, one from each chapter at least, about different philosophers. You tell me, you give me an answer, and then I'll ask you what you personally think. And you get in the habit of doing this, right? These are discussion boards. Then by the time you get to your first paper, you're already in the habit of looking at arguments, telling me what you think, and then the first paper should come pretty easily, okay? You're going to have a midterm exam. That's going to be on a Tuesday. So that'll be chapters 1 through 7. It'll be true and false, multiple choice, maybe essay or two, whatever. I haven't made those yet, but it could be a combination of any of those, matching, Then we move on. You'll see a pattern. You're going to have your quizzes, conversation. This week, week 5, this is the biggest week as far as quizzes. You'll have 4, and then you'll have your final paper and then a great conversation. So again, the final paper is going to be open to you right when the first paper is due. The first paper is open to you right at the first day of class. So you might want to say you have all 3 weeks on the first day of class to work on your first paper. It's open to you. You can see it the whole time. Right when that one's turned in, you can start working on your final. Again, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's 6 weeks, and it's honors class, but that's what you signed up for, okay? You can do it. You can relax. Many students have done this before you have, okay? So you're in good hands. And then your last week 6, I purposely don't include a discussion question. I just have you do 2 quizzes, and then you have a final exam, okay? And the final exam is only chapters 8 through 15. Same kind of format as the midterm. So, in other words, the final exam is not comprehensive. It's not chapters 1 through 15. It's only chapters 8 through 15, okay? Extra credit is due Sunday, February 14th, no later than 5. So, when your final exam's done, it's all graded, all of you will know your final grade in the class right then and there by Friday. That gives you 2 full days to figure out whether you want extra credit or not to turn it in. You have till February 14th. That's the deadline. Again, some important dates, all the due dates right there. You can look at this if you want. My favorite school that I've never been to and why. I think I even put a video about that. And then my 2 favorite websites. I've been using these. I say 10 years. It's actually now 20. This one is usually where I start. If I want to go full scholarly, I go to the Stanford Encyclopedia. And this is, man, really complex stuff. But these are my 2 favorite websites for starting research. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Those are all assignments. That's a breakdown of my whole syllabus. Again, modules, week by week. Let me share this last thing. Each week, you will have goals and objectives. You can click on it. This is not an assignment. This is me telling you inside of 1 week, like what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. Then, if you have a quiz, you're always going to have this. So for each quiz, for each chapter, you're going to have something called the essential readings or essentials from reading. These are, you can download it if you want or just preview it. These are the real important salient features of each reading. If you just look at this, would you be able to do a quiz? Heck no. But if you look at this and then you do your reading, you'll kind of know, okay, this is what I should know. So when I get to this part in my reading, okay, that's something Joseph told me that's essential. So, for example, chapter 1, essential points from Hesiod and Homer. You can look at it. It's actually pretty easy, right? Other chapters might have 2 or 3 pages. This one has 1. So take a quick look at that. Then when you get to your quiz, you'll be in a better position after you've done your reading. So each of these quizzes are the same. You click on it. You're going to get some videos from me. But here's how the quizzes work. You have 3 attempts. Each quiz is 45 minutes. Each quiz has a possible 30 to 40 questions that I could pull from, and I only pull 10. It's automatically done by the computer. So let's say you take a quiz and you get like a 60, and you're like, that sucks. And you take it again, the second attempt. It might have 10 different questions. Some of them might be the same, some might not. This helps to prevent cheating, but it also gives you 3 chances to get an A, 100%. You get 45 minutes, okay? So some of you will take all 3 attempts on certain chapters. Some of you will take 1. Whenever you stop, it just takes the highest grade you have. Each quiz is the same kind of format. I break down the most important people, give you the dates of when they were alive, a little picture. If they don't have a real picture, then, we get a statue or the next best thing. And then I tell you, you do not need to watch any videos. These are just an extra layer for your learning. Should you choose to watch them, that being said, they're all great videos. So what I tell you is this. In order to be fully prepared for the quiz, you'll need to read and understand these pages. Very clearly, for the first quiz, you got to read pages 1 through 8. If you do not, you're probably going to bomb the quiz. So as long as you do the reading, and there's some of you out there, you're different modes of learning. Some of you love learning by, videos, this and that. That's great, but you got to do the reading first. Then the videos will help give you an extra layer of knowledge and wisdom. It's really fun, right? Some of you, you'll skip all the videos and just do the reading and take your quiz and be done with it. It's up to you, okay? But I tell you the same thing for each and every quiz in the class. You do not need to look at the videos. They're optional. But for the first, I think, 7 or 8 chapters, you will get me, and I'll say, here's my video. You click on it, gives you a YouTube link. I'll show you. It's basically, I got to re-update this one for the first one. I have to fix that. That's a dead link. So here it is. Here's me. Oh, wait, no, sorry. This is a video that I linked on Hesiod. It's like a 14-minute video. Again, you don't have to watch them, but if you want to, they're pretty fun. I will provide you a link of my video here by the time you get to this class. This is a dead link. I just need to re-update it. So I give you a bunch of videos, interesting facts. That's pretty much it, okay? That was chapter 1. I'll quickly look at chapter 2 again. Look at your essentials for your reading. Do your reading. Come to quiz 2. And also what I do every week is all your quizzes are due Thursday, and every Friday from midnight or I think it's midnight. Some of them are 6 in the morning, but basically on Fridays up until 12 noon, it will give you the answers to your quizzes, but only on that day, only on that time frame. So here's quiz 2. And basically, it's giving you a breakdown of the people when they existed, some pictures of them. And I'm telling you the same thing. In order to do this quiz, you got to read and understand these pages. You do not need to watch any videos, but if you do, here's some good videos. And I think this is my videos on Tailies, so let me see. Oh, no, here's a video. So I should have my videos in here as well, and I'll update that for you. But for now, you get a general rundown. This is what you have for each quiz, okay? And then the great conversation. So this is open. You just click on it. And basically, I tell you, and this is very important, I say in order to have sufficient answers for these next questions, it will require at least 3 to 4 sentences for each answer. Also, to get full credit, provide the page numbers from the book of where you're finding your answers at. You also may quote the text or paraphrase it. If I ask you a personal question, then there's no need to provide the page numbers, obviously. So let me give you an example. Chapter 1, I'm telling you, first question. Describe the gods of Olympus as Homer portrays them. Boom. So it's not a question, but I'm asking you to describe something. That's the first thing you got to do. And then for chapter 2, the second one is, what problem does Democrates' atomism raise for free will? So for each of these, you're going to have to give me a page number or page numbers of where you're getting your answers. And you also may quote or paraphrase, okay? This one, do you think? So obviously you don't need to give me page numbers for this because I'm asking you what you think. Are you made up of only physical stuff like atoms? Do you think you are or not? Like, do you agree with Democrates in his view on atomism or not? Explain. Chapter 3. And then for each week, I'll always do this. I'll always say, pick one question from above and tell me what you personally think about it. Be critical. So for this one, don't pick do you think, because that's already something that you're giving me your personal thought on. You're going to pick the chapter 1, chapter 2, or chapter 3 question. Pick one of them and then tell me, what do you think? In other words, critically interact with it. You don't just tell me, oh, that sucks, I don't believe it. You tell me why you don't believe it, or you do believe it. Give me reasons. Okay? Again, this is helping you to develop that critical thinking skill over and over. You're going to be doing it each week, so that by the time you hit your first paper, your final paper, you're already in the groove of giving me good critical feedback. But especially this is important for you as an honor student, because chances are you've already been doing this and you're already ahead of the game for most students because you're an honor student, okay? Again, and down here it tells you I grade you on a rubric. You want to see what the rubric is? Click this, show rubric. These are exactly how I grade you each week on your papers and on your discussion questions. Did you answer the questions sufficiently? And I can click on any one of these 4 boxes and get some points. Did you respond to another student? You have to do this. You can't just give me all your answers and then you're done. You actually have to now go on to the discussion and pick another student and respond to them. Hey, what you said made me think about this and that. It can't just be like, hey, bro, I like what you said. No, that's not a response sufficient for this. You actually have to get deeper. Why did you like their response and how did it make you feel and what did it make you think about as far as your own view? Things like that. Go a little bit deeper, okay? And then last but not least, was it on time? I do all my little clicks and then I figure out, it adds it all up for me and then you get your grade. And yeah, I tell you that, make one reply to another student. So it's all right here. Okay, so this is the same for each week that you have a discussion forum, and I basically break that down for you. So that's it for pretty much the intro video for your class. Remember, the first important thing that you got to do is do this syllabus quiz and getting to know you. The getting to know you is super easy. I'm asking you real basic questions about yourself and I'm telling you to post a picture. If you don't post a picture, you're going to lose a little bit of points. Don't tell me I don't know how to post a picture. Figure it out. Again, you can call Canvas. They'll tell you how to post a picture. Okay? So do all these things, super easy. Once you're done with that, you're ready to dive into my class. Start looking at videos, do your reading, start taking some quizzes, And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, welcome to our 6-week class. I was really excited about a lot of this when I learned it. I hope you are too. And I think that's it. And one last thing on my course calendar, I'm telling you each week when things are due. I'm giving you the dates for the whole week above, and I'm saying, look, all the quizzes are due Thursday. This is due Sunday, on and on, okay? Any questions, just let me know. And it was a pleasure speaking with you.